Hi, I'm an old guy and I do maths, and this might look a little daunting. What we're trying to sort out is what the tangent of 17 pi on 4 times the cosine of negative 7 pi, all divided by the sine of negative 11 pi on 6 is equal to. And how you go about doing this is you first of all try and get each one of these constituent parts into as simple a form as you can and find its value. So let's go to work on that, and we'll deal with the tangent first. So let's just get all this into frame. So the tangent of 17 pi on 4 is equal to the tangent of 4 and 1/4 pi. Now, where you have a whole number like this, especially when it's even, it simply means that you wind up, if you start going around the unit circle, you wind up where you started. So effectively, this can be simplified to tan pi on 4. Here's the conversion from an improper fraction to a mixed numeral. 4 into 17 goes 4 and 1 remainder. That gives us this. Okay, so what is the tangent of pi on 4? Well, it's 1. Here's pi on 4, 45 degrees. Here's our little triangle, which you must be familiar with by now. 1 divided by 1 is 1. Okay, so on to the cosine of negative 7 pi. Right, this is fairly easy, and I'm going to use the unit circle to deal with this. So it's negative, so because I'm old-fashioned, what that says to me is that I go in a negative direction. People who are younger than me go in the normal positive direction, which is actually anti-clockwise, and then they flip the result. I'll do it both ways and you can see what happens. We're going to wind up in the same place. So 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi, all negative going in the other direction. We wind up here at 180 degrees or 1 pi. Now, if I'm doing it the way that people younger than me do it, I go in the usual direction: 1 pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi, 6 pi, 7 pi, and if I were up here, I'd flip the result and it would be down here. But I'm not. I'm still where I was when I did this my way, the old-fashioned way. Now, the cosine of 180 degrees is negative 1. Cosines are negative here. So we've got negative 1 and we've got 1. So we're well into finding the constituent parts of what looked pretty intimidating. Okay, so let's move on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to find the third part of our equation. Now, this is the sine of negative 11 pi on 6. Now, pi on 6, the sine of pi on 6 is 30 degrees. So the sine of 30 degrees, pi on 6, is 1 over 2. So just keep that in mind. Now, 11 pi on 6, negative 11 pi on 6. If I'm doing it my way, what I would do is I would count pi on 6's all the way around to here, and I would get to this point, pi on 6. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, all the way around to negative 11 pi on 6. However, the more modern way is to go 11 pi on 6 in this direction, which would get you to here, and then because that's negative, you flip the result, you wind up in the same place. Anyway, what we're looking for is we are looking for the sine of 30 degrees. Pi on 6 is going to be positive because it's in this quadrant, and the sine of pi on 6 is 1 on 2. You can see that. You can see that here. Okay. So let's put all this together. Suddenly it becomes unbelievably simple. Now, our tangent was 1, our cosine was -1. So that's 1 times -1. That equals 1, that equals -1, 1 times -1, 1 times -1, and the sine, which we just calculated, was a half. So it is -1 divided by a half, which is the equivalent of -1 times 2 over 1, save, change, and flip, fraction time. The answer is -2. The answer to this question, what does this equal, is -2, and that is how it is done. Thank you very much for watching. If you found this useful, please subscribe. There's fresh content all the time. I'll see you next time. Thanks again. Bye.